I have a question about your days as a Disney animator. Fox and the Hound. What were your days at Disney like, and was it a particularly fulfilling time for you?
Well, I got a lot of sleep during that time. I would sleep. I can say this now because I'm no longer employed there, but I slept 2 hours. I learned how to sleep, and I learned a talent of learning how to sleep sitting up at my desk. So with a pencil in my hand, so when somebody walked in, I could just point. It looked like I was cranking out those Fox drawings. So I learned how to sleep sitting straight up. I got a lot of sleep. Beyond that, I still didn't learn how to draw foxes very well. You know, my foxes looked like they'd been hit by cars, so I wasn't very good at it.
Now, a question for you about movie titles. I've always been fascinated about the battles that go over sometimes on what a movie should be called.
Yes.
Now, Beetlejuice.
Yes.
How much of battle was there about that film?
Well, that was a tough one because one day I got this phone book of research saying that the title should be changed from Beetlejuice to House Ghosts, and I thought, and they did all posters for it and everything. I said, I'm going to just jump out the window now, and I said, you know, that is a terrible. That looks like straight to video, and I said, you might as well call it Scared Sheetless, and they thought for a minute, and they started to consider that, and then I almost literally jumped out the window, but they were very cool to let it stay as was, and so, and I was actually very grateful to that.
The Superman project. You know, I know a lot's been written about that. Is that something that you still hope to do, and is that pretty much?
No, I did it, and I did it. It's just we forgot to film it.
Well, how disheartening is it for you as a director?
Very. I mean, it's probably one of the, you know, it's not enough money in the world for that kind of, you know, you do something because you want to do something and you put your heart and soul into it. So it's quite, you know, disturbing and damaging to the psyche to have that happen. But, you know, it happens. It's just the first time it happened to me.
You know, I was at Alcatraz for the big premiere of The Rock, and George Lucas was there, and he was walking through the crowd, and there was some guy wanting to pitch him a movie idea who was just following him through the crowd, and he was walking and he was trying to get away from him. I'm just wondering, does that ever happen to you? Do people ever come up to you just on the street?
Sure, sure. The thing they don't realize is that I'm the worst person to have. It's like, you know, you should go to somebody else who could actually maybe take your idea and make something of it. I wouldn't know a good script if it bit me in the face, really.
Well, turning to this movie, when you were first pitching it, was everyone enthusiastic from the right get-go, or did it take a little bit of convincing?
No, I worked with Warner Brothers, and you know they've been really nice to me. You know, they've been good. So they you know give me the rope on which to hang myself.
You know, a big part of movie making these days is merchandising. You know, I love the way these aliens look. I'm just wondering how much discussion was there prior when the images were being evolving about how they should look, and
well, not a whole lot, because these were, you know, this kind of, when the movie actually got going, we kind of whipped it together pretty good, and so there was not a lot of pre-time on that, so, you know, we didn't have a lot of that stuff going on. There'll be a couple of things, but we'll see.
Hey, Tim, I'm just curious. The auditions for The Horseman. Now, how did that go? How did that work?
Well, we tried to find all the headless actors we could, and I mean, I'll tell you, it's a funny thing, because when we were doing it and working on the film, like when we were actually mixing the film, every time something would happen with the Horseman, we kept trying to turn up the sound effects on his reactions, realizing that he didn't have a head, therefore no reactions. So I mean, it was an odd dynamic dealing with this sort of headless horseman, which is actually why I was sort of drawn into it, because it's such a powerful image.
Sure. Now, how popular a figure is he during lunchtime on the set? Is he a person who eats alone?
No, yeah, he doesn't eat much, but and he doesn't say much, and he's not much to look at either.
Well, now the beheadings. Now, a little bit more difficult to film than you first imagined.
Well, no, I mean, I think that you know, the what you're attempting is pretty clear, and so no, it was we just tried to give each one a different spin, so to speak, just to make them each one give it its own flavor, so to speak.
Now, how is it for the crew when you're shooting a scene like that? I mean, there are a number of beheadings, but I mean, how fascinated is the crew to do that?
Well, there's several stages of it. Once it gets to the stage where I'm rolling it to try to hit a mark, they all go have tea because it could take anywhere from 10 to 100. I feel like the worst bowler in the world, trying to get these heads to hit their mark.